article by Libby Purvis today in the Daily Mail, and she says that an end-of-the-year walk could actually help you make your relationship stronger. And it's a time as a couple that you can talk about things that you wouldn't normally talk about. And she and her husband do this kind of Boxing Day or the day after. They leave the kids with grandparents. It doesn't matter what the weather is. We put our big coats and boots and we walk through the woods and we talk. And they basically kind of review their year, whether it's their relationship, the family, work, and they talk about what they think was good and what might have gone wrong, how they could change it, if they're happy about things. And I thought this is a great idea because we don't have time a lot of the time as couples.
They call it the AGM walk, don't they?
Yeah, their annual general meeting. It was, you know, when you're at home, even if you try and say, we must talk about, you know, what we're going to do in the summer, or we must talk about Jack not doing his homework, and sorry, Jack. But, you know, things get in the way, the phone goes, the kids are there, and you often don't get to have those big discussions. And she's saying even things like saying to your partner or them to you, are you happy? Are you happy with your job? Do you like where we live? You know, big stuff. Or even minutiae, like, should we change
it's a really good idea,
fridge?
actually. Just to, mind you, the temptation to just keep walking and leave all the relatives in the house and just go and check into a hotel must be very tempting. But it always amazes me, the difference between December the 31st and January the 1st and the effect that it has on people, because it is only one day, but in your mind, you go, it's another year. And you go, do I want to do another year of this house? Do I want to do another year of this job? Do I want to do another year of this husband? Yeah, exactly. And they do say that divorce, actually, lawyers say that January is the biggest time when everybody comes out of the Christmas season and goes, can't put up with that anymore. So I do kind of get it. It's quite a good way to do it.
What would you talk about if you did the walk, the annual general meeting?
Yeah, I don't think that would really work for me because we talk about a lot of things anyway, and as you know, our relationship's been quite turbulent and we've sorted things out. But I suppose if I had to say something, I'd twist his arm so I can have another baby. Not that I want one yet, but
I'll twist it. You want another
one? Because he's like, I think 5's enough. And I'm like, no, we've still got enough bedrooms in the house. We've just bought a big enough car. We've got seats to fill and bedrooms to fill.
And so do you think he'd say yes? I mean, you think you could persuade him?
Well, he actually says I'm better when I'm pregnant than when I'm not, so that's a good thing.
You're nice.
Yeah. But, no, I think it is good for some people to do that walk if it helps them. For me, personally, we talk about things all the time.
So
anyway.
is that since you had your issues, or were you always like that as a couple?
No, I'm the kind of person that I'd rather get it off my chest, and he's the same. So, yeah, our house is hectic like most people's. I suppose that's a nice way, but then why? I don't want to think, oh, we're going to have a big talk at the end of the year, because you might hear something you don't want to hear, or...
Well, also, you'd be dreading it, wouldn't you? You'd be thinking, oh,
what if they
God,
turn around and say,
Boxing
actually,
Day.
no, I don't actually want to be with you anymore?
Yeah,
or...
what a terrible way to start the new year. Are you happy? No. Oh.
New Year.
You need to know these things.
Well, I'd like to know before Christmas Day, so I haven't wasted my money buying them a
The moral is don't go on a cliff-top walk.
Yeah. Well, Eamon and I have got a big change coming up, because I don't know if you might have read in the papers at the weekend. I'm not pregnant. I wish. I'd like to have had more than one. That was another big discussion we had to have, Eamon and I, about do you want children? He already had 3. You know, we had that conversation quite early on. No, you might have seen in the paper he's having both his hips replaced at the same time. Yes, and it's long overdue. He's been thinking about it for a very long time. And he really has to have them done. He's in a lot of pain. So that is going to be a big thing for us. It's, you know, in February, and it's time off work. It's managing the time off work. We can't afford to both be off work for that long, you know, so... And we obviously do a lot of stuff together, and managing Jack, managing the kids, being a bit worried about it. So things like that, you never know what's going to happen in your life, do you? And I think you...
Would it help if I buy Eamon a little bell? That would go down well with you, wouldn't it?
I'm not the greatest nurse, I have to say. That is something I'm worried about. You know,
I bet he's not the greatest patient.
And he's not the greatest patient. So you can imagine, like, 2 days, I'll be, yes, darling, I'm just coming up the stairs. By day 3, I'll be like, what?
Not again. Do you know what, though? It'd be so good for him now. It will be life-changing.
It will be life-changing, and he knows it will be. And everybody you talk to, you know, says, oh, it's the best thing I ever did. I wish I'd done it years ago. And, you know, and when you see him getting in and out of a car with this pain on his face, you know, I know he's got to have it done. So it's just about us as a family kind of managing that. So that was in our big AGM talk last year.
But not walk.
But not walk. Next year, I'm going to be walking him around those woods like you wouldn't believe.